Good morning, my angels. So we're going to do something a little bit different today. As you can see, I'm on the floor and I wanted to show you a little bit of a shadow work ritual. How do we do shadow work on a daily basis? It's something that you guys ask me a lot, okay? We do this shadow work. We have this thing we call shadow work. We do inner work. We work on ourselves. We come on session. Perhaps you work with me or with a different healer. You have your sessions every month, every 2 months, whatever that is. But what do I do in between? It is the daily work that we do in between. So I want to introduce you today to my little ritual, to my little way of doing things. So perhaps you'll be able to incorporate that ritual as well in your life. Make it fit your purpose, make it fit your lifestyle, make it fit your journey. You can do this every day. You can do this once a week. However you like it. I always say this to you guys. There are certain components of rituals that are very important, but rituals are permission slips. All of the things that we do in a journey of spirituality, we could just do it, right? But they're permission slips to put our body in a certain state to make it a little bit easier for us. So this is what we're gonna learn today. Hold on. Okay, I wanted to bring you in a little bit like this. Okay, so we're going to do this in steps. There's going to be 3 key, very important steps. And then I'm going to give you 2 additional ones in case you have a little bit more time. You want to dedicate a little bit more time and you do this in the evening. So starting from the first 3 key steps. First thing that I want you to do is to set up your space, to get comfortable with yourself, get cozy, right? So light up a candle is very important, fire is very important. It brings in the spirit, it invites in our guides, it opens the space, even if it's just that permission slip again, right? So it's a beautiful thing to do. So it's minimum I want you to do for set up your space is to light up your candle. We're going to sit down. I love sitting down on the ground. It's an additional step that actually helps us to connect to Mother Nature, connect to the ground, connect to the earth that we live in, right? If you don't feel like that's comfortable, you can sit on top of your sofa or your bed, but just make sure that you're comfortable. You have a lot of cushions, you have some blankets, whatever is it that you need, whatever makes you feel cozy and comfortable. Adjust the lighting, light up an incense. I like to set up like this relaxing, beautiful, nice flutes kind of a music. I didn't do that this time because I don't want it to be interrupting us, but that's what I would normally do, to set up like a relaxing music or a handpan music, which I personally love. So you can do all these things so you feel comfortable. You have your space, you can have your water bottle if you have. I feel like minimum this should take you is half an hour, the entire ritual. But if you want to spend a little bit more, some days you, oh my god, tongue tied. Some days you're gonna feel like you need a little more. Some days you're gonna feel that you need a little less. It's gonna really depend day by day. As you train yourself to do this, because this is why we do these rituals, again, permission slips, to train ourselves and our body to set it in a certain mindset, to open to a certain experience. So the more you do it, you're going to be able to do it in no time, in a bus, on a car, right? But right now we really want to learn these things. So you're going to set up your space, and even when you know these things, even when you're a pro at shadow work, you've integrated your shadows, sometimes it's just nice to spend that quality time with ourselves. This is that quality time with ourselves that we get excited to do, right? So you set up your space. I have my candles, I have my Palo Santo, I have my meditation cushion, I'm comfortable, I'm all good. So step number 2 that I want you to do is you will close your eyes and we will start to feel ourselves into our body and go around. Okay, so you can put one hand on your heart, other hand on your belly. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can just put your hands outwards, whatever makes you feel comfortable. You cannot feel weird. And I always say this to you guys with rituals. We've recently done a 12 nights ritual and I've taught you how to do that ritual, and I've mentioned that as well. And I mentioned this in any ritual. If it feels bizarre, if it feels weird, it ain't gonna work out. So I want you to be really, really comfortable. So we're gonna connect to our body. You're just gonna close your eyes and you're gonna be breathing mindfully and deeply. As you breathe in, really feel how the air expands your body. And just be. This is that moment when I want you to be. Just feel your presence in your body. Feel your body. You can do a little stretches. You can stretch your arms. Feel. That's the whole point. We want to feel. So we're going to start from feeling our body. Maybe there's something that doesn't feel comfortable. Maybe you feel a little headache. Maybe you feel a little tension in your shoulders. Maybe you feel a little pain in your belly, in your back. Really focus on your body. Try to communicate with your body, right? You're going to be breathing in. You're going to sit there for a moment, doing exactly that. Breathing in, feeling into your body. And slowly you're going to move to feeling into that inner part of you, where you feel in your body, not just the aches, not just the pains, not just where you feel uncomfortable, where you need a little movement, but what do you feel in your body? Maybe you feel longing, maybe you feel sadness, maybe you feel anger, maybe you feel upset. Allow the feeling in. All is welcome. Sometimes you're going to have a specific thing. This is actually where we're called to do these rituals, right? So there's going to be days where you're going to be quite okay with yourself and you're going to wait what comes through. But there are going to be days where maybe something upsets you today. Maybe something triggers you. It's important to allow those triggers to come forth right now. So maybe a specific situation, a specific person. Maybe something triggered you, maybe something made you sad, made you cry, made you angry, made you react instead of responding. Maybe you feel longing, maybe you feel lonely, maybe you feel pain, maybe you feel scared. Allow these feelings to come in, right? And in this second step that we're doing now, you're really gonna be feeling those feelings. And there's no pressure here. Just be present. You can literally, as you have your eyes closed, you can imagine yourself taking a step back, going a little bit outside of your body in your mind's eye, seeing yourself and just observing as you sit there, as you breathe, as you feel. Allow those feelings in. Really allow them in, right? Knowing that all is welcome, all parts of ourselves are welcomed. And this is the part where it really depends on what comes through. There's going to be days where you're really going to be sitting more in stillness, more in calmness, right? And there are going to be days that you're really going to feel those triggers coming in because there's something on your mind. There's something upsetting you. If you are going through a very difficult, specific journey in the beginning of this journey, there may be a lot coming in, right? Communicate with your guides as well, because as we open that space, we invite our ancestors, we invite our guides to come forward, so they with you. Communicate. These rituals as well are beautiful to communicate with your guides. So as you breathe in, you can talk to them. Okay, you can talk to your higher self. However, again, whatever feels right for you. slower. All right, you can say a little bit slower. I'm not ready for that much. Let's just take it step by step. If you're hearing a lot, and this is also this beautiful way to train ourselves, what I always teach you guys, to activate your own clairs for you, within you, your clairvoyance, clairsentience. So maybe you're gonna hear something in your mind, maybe you're gonna see something in your mind, in your mind's eye. Maybe you're going to feel a sensation. So all is welcome. This is a moment of contemplation. This is a moment of allowing things to come forth, feeling your feelings. Whatever is coming forth, you're going to just sit on it. You're going to feel it. If you feel sad, if you feel like crying, you're going to cry. If you feel angry, you can scream, right? If you don't feel safe, you can just like crawl a little bit in a little ball. Just allow your body to react to what it's feeling, right? And again, depending on a day, this is something that's sometimes really minimum 5 to 10 minutes sitting in that position. If you are new at all this, if you struggle with all this, you can set a little timer to have those 5 or 10 minutes, or set a little track that lasts exactly that, so you know, and really sit with yourself. In the beginning, for some people, it can be difficult and it can be challenging to just sit with yourself, to feel into your body, to feel into your emotions, in that stillness and in that silence. So if you need to help yourself to really be there for 5 or 10 minutes, do that. For some, it's not going to be that challenging. Many things may come forth and you may find yourself suddenly being like this for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes, which is as well absolutely fine. So once you feel like you're done, like you're ready, like you've allowed your feelings to come forth, you've allowed certain thoughts to come forth, remember, in these moments, we are the observers. We're observing our body, we're observing our emotions, we're observing what we're feeling, we're observing our thoughts as well. We don't try not to engage in the act of thinking, just let it go, whatever comes through, but allow the thoughts to come through. We cannot shut down the mind, unfortunately, or fortunately. This is how it works. So just allow things to come through, right? Third step is a step that I really, really recommend and I really, really love. And that step is the oracle card. You guys know that I use oracle cards in my readings. I design oracle cards. I love oracle cards. I preach for oracle cards. And that's one of very few divination tools that are for everybody, right? I always teach you guys this. There's many divination tools like tarot, like the rods, that are not meant to be used by people who are not awakened spiritual teachers, true awakened Kundalini awakened spiritual teachers, who are not linked to that specific ancestral tool, to use these tools. However, the beauty of oracle cards is that they are for everybody, right? There are for everybody. So if you have an oracle deck, this is the perfect time, and that's step number 3, to ask your guides for guidance through that oracle decks. I generally love for creators when it comes to oracle cards. There's so many on the market. There's so many that are great when you are a reader, and you use them when you are a reader, right? But when we talk about self-work, inner work, going deeper, my universal truth, my personal opinion, I recommend 4 authors of oracle decks. One, obviously, is myself. My cards are specifically designed for shadow work, for inner work, for sitting with yourself in contemplation, going deeper, getting to know yourself better. And we're going to use my oracle deck today. And the other 3 authors that have amazing oracle cards that myself on my journey of healing in these rituals, when I was reading their cards, they would bring me to tears. They will really help me to open. This is the goal of an oracle card, right? So yes, some are for fun. You guys know that I also use oracle cards with single words, and some of them are for a bit of a guidance, bit of an entertainment. But here in those kind of rituals, we're looking for depths. We're looking for true guidance, right? So my recommendation to you, if you have my oracle cards, if not, you should definitely get them. You can read more about them on my website. And I also stand by and recommend Rebecca Campbell's oracle cards, beautiful author. Kim Krans, absolutely magical woman, magical oracle decks. And Alana Fairchild. Some of her oracle decks always bring me to tears. So if you guys want me to, I have a bit of a collection. Let me know in the comments if you want me to maybe show you a couple of these cards. Other day we can sit down and I can walk you through whatever maybe suits your needs. But today we're going to pull one, so I'm going to show you again how I like to do it and how we can do that. We're going to pull one card for guidance. So whatever deck you're using, you guys know that I always tell you, connect to your deck as you buy it, but you can connect in a moment as you use it. Just hold it in your hands, close your eyes, really ask your guides, what is it that I need to learn today? What is it that I need to know? I'm going to pull one for you today from my oracle deck. This is the emotions one. So the reason I really love it, it's great for shadow work, but it's also amazing to get to know you and your emotions, because it's emotions that guide us towards our shadows. So this is this is an amazing tool to really understand certain emotions. So you're going to pull that card. You can either shuffle. I'm a shuffler. You guys know I shuffle. You can spread them like this and just choose one, whatever feels right, or you can just split the deck. Whatever feels right again. So we're gonna pull one for you. What is it that we need to know today? All right, we have water element number 88, victim mentality. We have victim mentality. I'm gonna read through this card to you. Maybe some of you will actually resonate with some of these messages. Victim mentality is one of the darkest shadows, rooted in fear and denial. We blame others and destiny for our lack of happiness, love, or success. Failing to comprehend universal law of attraction, we can only ever attract and experience what we are the vibration of. If deep down we don't believe we deserve more than pain, loneliness, and failure, that is all we will ever attract. It's easier to blame external factors than look deeper into our wounds and behaviors and admit that everything that exists in our life we must have attracted and accepted. As we heal, we start taking accountability. We accept that every experience is an opportunity to shift our vibration. We start to choose what we don't prefer, setting boundaries and growing towards what we would like to attract. We're not going to be discussing victim mentality today. This is not the purpose of this video. I just wanted to read through this card to you in case maybe you needed to hear that message, since that's what we pulled. So this is where you read your card. This is where you allow yourself to think about it. Maybe you're going to have to read a couple of times. Maybe you're going to have to sit on it, contemplate on it, ask for some answers as well, right? And this is where I also would invite you guys to journal, right? It's that additional step. I think I've said we're going to have 3 steps, but actually we're going to have 4, because that's very important to journal. If you watch me, you know that I recommend journaling to anyone who is on a healing journey, inner work journey, self-improvement journey. Journaling is that one-on-one of channeling. It's that introduction to channeling. As we write, there's some magic in it that we let go, and we really sometimes write things that surprise ourselves, messages from our guides that come to us through us. So this is that moment that I would invite you just to sit down. You can have sorry, you can have a little bit of tea, you can journal. If you do this regularly, and if you are on a journey of shadow work, I would really invite you to do this ritual regularly. So you can put a date. You can take a note of what card did you pull, which oracle, if you have many, did you use. If we have many, sometimes intuitively we're guided towards that right oracle that will bring us the message that we need today. And then just journal your thoughts. What is it that came through? What is it that you saw? What is it that you felt? What is it that you're hearing? Do you feel like there's any message in this ritual? What is it that you need to work on? Maybe there are some questions that you currently don't have answers to. Write them down. Write it all down and journal. Take your time. Again, this is a moment to think, to contemplate, to sit with yourself, to sit still with these feelings. And now, this is where you can end your ritual. Sometimes there's going to be days where you're not going to have the time. It's also a matter of really feeling into yourself. Whether you're someone that you prefer to do this in the evening, you prefer to do this in the morning. Sorry, I prefer to do these things in the evening because I feel like for me personally, there's no rush. That's it. That's the last step of my day, right? And whereas in the morning, there's tends to be something on our minds. Sometimes you can do this in the middle of a day when you face a trigger, when you face an emotion, and you just want to welcome it, and you just want to sit with it. And I have 2 additional steps, so you can end your ritual here. But if you're doing this in the evening and you have the time, I have 2 additional steps that I want to invite you to do these steps. So next step would be what I call the cleansing shower, and still connecting in even deeper. So you're going to just take a shower, you're going to take a bath, whatever you prefer, whatever floats your boat. The reason it's so powerful and so important is because water is magic. Water holds all the knowledge. All the water that we use circulates around, and it holds a lot of knowledge. We connect as humans to water in a very magical way. It releases emotions from us. This is why sometimes in shower is that only place where you feel relaxed enough to sing, or where things come to you, where ideas comes to you, where inspirations comes to you. We channel in water, we channel in our shower, in our bath. So that's the first reason that showers and bath is so powerful, to be in water, to connect to the energy of water. And the second element is that cleanse, right? So we want to cleanse the negativity around whatever is it that came through, right? Because the core of shadow work is to understand that our shadows are not to be feared, are not to be hated, are not to be carved out and thrown into the bin. They are to be welcomed. We have to give them love. So even if you have a quite challenging shadow to work with, let's say it is that victim mentality, you have to face it. If that's your behavior, you have to face it. You have to accept it. I maybe do have a little bit of victim mentality, but now I understand where it comes from. Now I can welcome it. Shadows are protectors. Shadows are parts of our protective armor that was created subconsciously in early years, when we were facing challenges, traumas, situations, painful situations that we did not yet have the capacity to handle. So shadows are our protectors. Right? So the more we love them, the more we face them, the more we invite them to have some tea with us, the more we have that conversation with those shadows, the easier it's going to be to really heal them and integrate them. So this is where we cleanse. We cleanse the shame. We cleanse the guilt. We cleanse that this is something that we've been denying. And I always say this to you guys, denial is the biggest enemy of shadow work, of healing work, of progress. As long as you're denying and you're in this mentality, no, I don't have victim mentality. No, I am not avoidant. No, I'm not aggressive. you ain't gonna get nowhere. It's accepting. All our shadows want is to be welcomed, is to be part of us. And for as long as we are denying them, we're casting them away, right? They're gonna get more aggressive, they're gonna get more loud, they're gonna get more tricksters, right? We want to make friends with them, right? They're not our enemies. So that cleansing ritual will sort of help you to cleanse the stress from your body, cleanse the shame and guilt, relax a little bit, connect to that energy of water. Water is flow, water is our sacral, water is our emotion, right? So it's a really beautiful part to sort of finish your little ritual. And there's one more step that I personally love to do, and sometimes I do this on its own. These days I don't sit down in these rituals that often, but I do that final step. I do almost every night, so I really encourage you to do that. And when you're ready in your jammies, you're ready in your bed, it's the legs up the wall position, right? So you're gonna lay on your bed, you're gonna put your legs up. Try to do it as neatly as possible, as in a yoga position, so your back is straight, so your leg go up the wall. Again, you can put your hands on your belly and on your heart. If it feels better, you can spread your arms, right, and really relax and just be. It's an amazing position for your body. It's an amazing position for relaxation. It is amazing position. I love it. It just feels like you are relaxing and inviting your guides for a little therapy session, for a little private therapy session. And this is where I call this last step integration. This is where the true integration happens, right? Integration of our shadows. Integration is accepting that whatever came through, let it be that victim mentality, right? It's part of me. I cannot deny it. I am this. This is part of my armor. This is part of my shadow. Now it is on me to figure out, where does it come from? What created that within me? How can I heal to let this shadow know that I no longer need your protection? Now we can be friends. Now you can retire. Now I'm going to integrate you. That integration is healing, is acceptance, is welcoming that part of you that you've been denying, that you've not been liking, that you've been shaming, that you've been blaming. It's me. It's part of me. I want it to be whole within me, right? That's integration. And for some things, you're going to be able to do this in that one ritual. Probably not. Some things are going to be very big. They're going to require more shadow work, more contemplation, more sitting with yourself, more integration, more days to integrate. If something really brutal and really difficult came forth, you may want to sit with it for a good couple of days. It doesn't mean that you have to repeat this ritual every day. If you want, you can, focusing on that specific thing that you want to focus on, but you can simply just repeat that last step. So if something more powerful came through and you really want to allow yourself to feel into that shadow, for a week, for 2 weeks, for a month even, however you will need, every day before you go to bed, you're just gonna sit in that legs up the wall kind of position, and you're just gonna be with that thing. You're just gonna contemplate on it. You're just gonna allow yourself to feel into it, to love it, to understand it, to give it compassion, to give it forgiveness, to just understand it better. That's what we all want. And in the end, if you think about it, we all want to be seen. We all want to be understood. But in order for ever feel that way, you have to be the one to see yourself. You have to be the one to understand yourself, to sit with yourself, to give yourself everything that you're crying for from others: love, attention, forgiveness, compassion, understanding, quality time. Give it to yourself. And this is exactly it. This is exactly what this ritual is. All right, my sweet angels, I hope this was helpful. If you want me to do more of these videos, I have quite a lot of exercises and techniques that you can do as a shadow work with yourself on an everyday basis. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, I'm probably not gonna have the time to maybe do this this year, but I will definitely come in with some videos if you guys want to, in the month of January, which is actually a perfect time because we all sit in this new energy in January subconsciously, although it's not really the beginning of the year. The beginning of the year is in April, but any occasion is good to have a good start. So yeah, I love you so incredibly much. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you soon.